Good morning, everyone. So, in this lecture, we will be analyzing the demand with its law and its assumptions and the elasticity. So, in understanding the concept of demand, we must first know what is the definition of demand is. So, when we say the definition, the definition goes like this. It is the quantity demanded or the person is willing to buy for at the given price at the given client on a specific period of time. So the demand may be varying with period, and it is firstly concerned with the price. So if the prices change, the demand will be affected. So this is one of the definition of demand given by Pynchon. So according to him, the demand implies three things. First, the desire to possess a thing. That is, the person will buy the thing only when he decides to have it. And then it involves the purchasing power and how he can purchase it. And third, his willingness to those on purchasing this. So without the willingness on or desire of purchasing that thing, he cannot go for the product. The current slide shows the definition of the demand given by Bauer. So in this definition, he clearly says that this is the willingness of a customer in buying the quantity of things from the market or a seller in a particular period of a time at its various income levels. So this says about the income level also. The demand for the product will be changing based on several factors. So these are some of the factors listed here. As we know here from the definition in the previous slides, so demand fact the influenced by the buyers willingness, income level, and all this stuff. So these are some of the factorized things of the demand which is being described as per the definitions. So these are also the demand factors which is being discussed. So we'll get into the next slide, demand schedule. So when we say about the demand schedule, it can be of either individual or it can be of a market demand. So individual demand says about the how the demand is affecting for a given person or a single individual. So on a market scale, it is for multiple people going into the market and multiple item is purchased. So it will be on a multiple and large scale. So this is one of the example. This is one of the example given for an individual demand schedule. So let us consider the price of mangoes. So if the price of the mangoes is high, when an individual is going on purchasing the mangoes based on his income level and based on his willingness, he may get some by intention on buying the mangoes. So this is one of the small strange things. So when the price is going less, the person will be trying to buy more. That is what about the demand says. So it is called as, so if we get into the previous table, if it's for only one person, then it is called as an individual demand. And when it is aggregated into two or three or four or five people's work, then it will go into market demand. So market demand, see, this is one of the table which demonstrate the market demand. So in this previous table, we just saw about the only one person A, but here B and C, two more persons is added. So as a cluster, if a seller is giving the selling the price product at the different prices, what will be the sales? That is what we discussed here. So this is one of the market demand curve. So it will be just an aggregate of previous individual. So just how this demanded. So market demand has been drawn from the sum of individual demands at the different price level. So that's what been given here. It is a demand of product price person A, person B, and person C, and it will be summed up and it will be given as a total demand here. So what is the need of demand schedule? So when we say on the demand schedule, it will help you in identifying the nature, or how much we want, how much we can spend, and all this the resource allocation will be happening based on the demand schedule. So it is when you want to start a business, so the business will people will be are concerned on making a profit. So when you make the profit means the product has to be sold for a good profit, and 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 that has to be have a high demand. So these demand schedules will helps to identify the market demands of the product. So, as we discussed earlier, the law of demand establishes the relationship between the price of the product and the quantity of the product which is demanded. So, we can say the law of demand can be simply, in a colloquial term, we can say if the price is getting increased, the demand will fall. And if the demand price is reduced, the demand will rise. This is what a simplest definition of demand. So, in that is what we can say. And there are also several economic experts defining the demand. And one such demand definition of demand given by Marshall is the greater the amount to be sold, the smaller must be the price at which it is offered in order to make it a fine purchaser. And in other words, the amount demanded increases with the fall in price and diminishes with the rise in price. So that is what this law of demand is about. There are several other definitions of demand given by Samuelson and Mayer, and it's all ultimately says when the price is to be increased, the price of the product increase, the demand will fall. And it's about the willingness of people that they have likely to purchase the product at the given price. So this is one of the graphical description of the demand. So here the apple demanded quantity demanded is given in x-axis, and the number of products quantity which is the people would like to have is been given on y-axis. So when we say you can see whenever the prices decrease, the product is going up. So that's what the product demand is getting increased. This is what we can simply get on the graph. So what are the reasons for the law of demand? When we say the price is getting increased, the demand automatically falls. What are the reasons? So here are some of the reasons given by the economists. First is law of diminishing marginal utility. So whenever the price is getting increased, the utility or the money utility the person expects from the product is getting increased. But when the price product remains the same, but that means it is getting marginally reduced. And income effect, whenever the income of a product per person is changed, automatically the demand is also will be get affected. And substitution effect, if the product A is there and product B is also there, if the product A is giving a high price and product B is giving a relatively low prices, then automatically the product B will be more demanded. So that's why like this, the demand is being mentioned here. And what are the assumptions? So when we say law, they will be always making some assumptions. What are the assumptions in making the law of demand? First, we will make the assumption income of the buyer remains the same. That means his income is completely constant, and his taste is also remains the same. That means he won't try to do differently, or he won't experience different products. That's what one of the biggest assumptions is there. And price of the goods and substitutes and remains unchanged. That means whatever the price we say, that is there. And the substitution is also not changed, or that all the good and the substitute are on the same price and same stage. And there is no close substitutes. So product A is there. You can consider the packet of noodles. Well, product A is there, and that product B is also there. The product A and product B are both are packets of noodles from the different manufacturer. Only thing is which is going to play is about the flavor means, then there is a factor. But the both noodles are on same flavor, then here becomes the big question: what will be the substitution? What will be the price? and what will be the interest, what is the preference, is there any, and that's what we have. The next point, there is no prestige value. If we consider the prestige value, then automatically it will be out of the topic of law of demand. Let us consider this smartphones. An Apple phone will not be compared with Android. An Android mobile is compared only with another Android mobile. Like this it will be on a same ground, not different grounds. So these are some of the limitations of the law of demand. So as we discussed in the previous slides, we assume that the income level is same. There is no changes in his habits. There is no change in his preferences. All these things is good for theory, but in practical, humans will always try to experience new things. So this will increase the limitation and increases the assumptions of the demand. So these are some of the factors which is being given as a limitations of the demand.